UK bodybuilding is in crisis. With growing numbers of competitors opting for more accessible fitness-based competitions, and with controversy and discourse within the established federations in the UK, traditional bodybuilding is at risk of being squeezed out. But after 3 years away from the sport, two veterans of the UK bodybuilding scene are out to prove they'll do whatever it takes to win a British title.
I'm going to have to go Team Tom at this point, but don't tell him that.
There's always competition, isn't there? But that makes you want to be better.
He's judging, you can see he's still got the passion for it, he still wants to be up there.
Come on.
Does Daddy get grumpy when he's dieting?
I have more titles than Tom.
This is not following a diet. This is not getting fit. This is not drugs doing the work. This is whatever it takes. This is prep. It's the week after the show, and Tom and Paul are already back in the gym.
I've got to keep my focus on the Britain. I have to. Because if I don't, things will slip, I'll forget to do stuff, and, you know, it's my final show.
So, although I've done British Championships before, this is the first time I've done the Nabba British Finals. And then now it's sort of become a bit more serious now, because the feedback I've had after is very positive in terms of, you know, I could do very well. And in some respect, I think I wish people maybe hadn't have said that to me, because now I've got a bit of pressure on me that, well, maybe I could do really well.
My whole world revolves around bodybuilding at the moment. And that's really difficult because I don't compete. I go to the gym because I enjoy going to the gym. I've got quite a stressful job, I've got 3 children, and I feel like everything at the moment is revolving around Paul. And it's really difficult not to feel resentful when he's walking out the door and going off to the gym for 3 hours.
Come on, buddy, let's go. The pressure's on now for a different reason. Yeah, I'm still up against Tom, and I certainly want to beat him. He wants to beat me. There's no difference there. But it's the Britain. Competitors at our level, you know, and I say this with no ego whatsoever, but when you reach my level, Tom's level, you go to Southport, which is where the Nabba Britain Finals is being held, and you leave on a Sunday with a medal rather than a trophy, then you really haven't done your work. It's about making that top 6. That's what it's about.
Paul's a pretty serious guy, but it becomes a lot more serious when he's in prep. He's a bit like Jekyll and Hyde. 1 minute he's fine, the next he'll just be hood up, hat on, that's it, in and out, no talking. I can sort of normally judge when he's like that, so I'll see his face when he walks in the door and I know what sort of session I'm in for.
From that side.
He's always got to go through him first before they go on social media, make sure he looks alright. Normally at the end of the session when he's nice and full, never at the beginning.
We started training together after he did the UK BFF Paul Talbot last September. He'll push me, but then he'll not push me when he knows that I don't want someone screaming in my ear. He makes sure he trains whatever I train when I'm out of Plymouth, so when I'm back in Plymouth, we train in the same muscle group.
Seeing his body change, I mean, he's a spring chicken, but he can show us all that it still can be done at that age, which is great. He said it's going to be his final show, but I don't know. I guess it's like any of us, there's always that intention to do one more, but I think that might be him done. According to Jen, that'll be him done.
He was away for like a week before the West, or a couple of weeks before the West, and over at the West. But in that time, he texted me, checking it if I was all right, Skyped me a couple of times, just to see if I was all right, if I was ready, things like that. He's just a good guy.
He was right back on it. I was in Mexico. I FaceTimed him on the morning before the show. Caught up with him and that, wishing him the best of luck. It was his birthday on the Tuesday after the show, and that's the day we flew back in. So we all caught up that evening, had a good bite to eat, good food and that, good chat, good catch up. And he said to me that I'm back on plan tomorrow, so I can only do it Tuesday. So I was in by Wednesday morning. He was back on plan, back ahead in the game.
It's so different to what I used to do. I mean, I used to do the strongman stuff, I used to do all big compound lifts and nothing else, strength work. And then training with Tom, he's totally changed the way I trained. I do need to show him how to do a good leg day occasionally, but you know, with a lot of the other guys in the gym prepping and competing at the same time, it's nice to sort of for everyone to be going for something similar sort of time, training together, dieting together, doing cardio together. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to smash it.
So the other day we were going to do leg session. We both decided at the beginning of it was just going to be like a normal leg session, and it sort of quickly escalated into a giant quad drop set, and we were both nearly sick.
With Tom and Paul having now been on diets for well over 6 months, the pressure on home life is greater than ever.
I hate cheese, but I make cheese macaroni thing, which is disgusting and smells disgusting for the kids. And I've also made chips, which I can't eat for the family. And I haven't eaten yet, but they've all had their food.
He has turned into such a whinge bag. He's moaning non-stop about everything. To be honest, it's been such a long time, I can't even remember what it was like beforehand, because it's just been, like, we're stuck into a routine. He's quite moody, he's quite irritable, and I think because he's coming now, and I think because there's more pressure on this one, he's quite difficult to live with at the moment, to be honest.
There is a small sense of relief that it's sort of one show down, one to go. But of course his focus has always been 100% on Britain. He wants to make the top 6. And I know he's putting that pressure on himself. And I know that although he probably doesn't let on, you know, I think the pressure's getting to him as well.
She said to me a couple of days before the West, she went, yeah, but we've still got the Britain, and at that time I was going to do the WFF as well. And it was after speaking to her I cancelled the WFF. I just didn't think it was right. Me and Jen will argue more because she'll make like comments and digs about, well, the show's over now. Spend some time with it. Oh, come on, you do that now. Show's over now. You know, and after a while I'll be like, right, okay, I know the show's over. You know?
I think if he'd been like this week all the way through, then I think we'd be very stressed at our relationship, to be honest. So I think we're kind of keeping ourselves a bit separate at the moment because, you know, we're all a bit stressed.
Because the last time I competed, I was such a cunt to people, and you know, I didn't want to be like that again. You know, I made a real effort this time not to be a real wanker and say what I thought to people and, you know, stuff like that, because that did, you know, cause a few issues last time. See? You can't help it. See what a good boyfriend and stepdad I am. I'll even open the ice cream, hold it by the base because its top's going to come off. I don't know, whatever.
I've seen a different side of Tom. Apparently he said how he was when he did it before. He was with his staff, he was quite barky with them. And I haven't seen that side, but Tom's been doing it the past week, which I've not enjoyed. It's not been nice, and I'm trying not to bite back because I know this isn't Tom, but to be on the receiving end of it, it's not nice. And I am glad it's nearly over. I really am. I don't have, to be honest.
I think with this prep, I'm more aware of how what I'm doing to prep for the show is affecting Jen and the kids.
There have been times where he sat down of an evening and, sorry. He sat down of an evening and had to apologise because he's not happy with the sort of person that dieting's made him into. He's not enjoying the children, he snaps a lot, he hasn't got any patience, and I don't think he likes the sort of person he's become and the effect it's had on our relationship.
Me and Jen are strong. We'll get through this and whatever, yeah. But our relationship isn't what it was 17 weeks ago. Me and Jen's got a relationship where we are best mates, genuinely. That's not a cheesy line. So this prep has been hard because we've not. It's not been like that for a good part of it. And that's really affected both of us, I think.
And I did say to him that I don't know if our marriage could actually go through another competition season. I just don't think I don't think we can do it, and we've been together for 18 years and I've never ever said anything like that to him before, but it's just come to the point where we've stopped enjoying each other's company.
You get like that sometimes. It's like, I've had enough of it, I can't bother to do it anymore, and it's not worth risking your family or stuff like that. It's really ain't. I've seen guys who are so into competing and they just, they fuck their girlfriends off and their family off and everything else, and the worst thing is they're not even like champions. They're guys who turn up and compete and get third out of 3 every single time. And you see him on like Facebook afterwards and like, yeah, I got third, but I know what I'll do, I'm gonna smash it next year. And they come back next year exactly the same. And you see him on the thing, oh yeah, I split with my missus and my life's in the toilet and that, but I've still got my bodybuilding. And I'm like, mate, you ain't got shit.
But that's why there'll only be 15, 16 people on the stage. If that. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would do it.
I am very relieved that it's one show down and just one to go.
With record numbers of competitors taking to the stage this year, the popularity of a performance-enhancing drug known as peptides is on the increase.
Some people I know love their injections. So they can't wait to get home from work and do their jabs and then go out to train. For me, it's the opposite. I hate injecting, and it's something. When I stop bodybuilding, I'll be glad to probably put behind me. Well, Paul knows a lot more than me about peptides, and he's very researched and read on it. So if I've got a question on peptides, or if someone asks me a detailed question, I always refer them to him.
The basics of them is that they will release and amplify a pulse of growth from your own body, so a natural pulse of growth. GHRPs can be used on their own because they will create a pulse and push that up. GHRHs really can't, because you've got to know when your body's creating your own pulse, which you just don't know. But working together, both of them working together will give you more than like 200% more.
What do I think of peptides on a prep? I don't use anything other than growth really on a prep. I use that for recovery and for anti-catabolic, so that I maintain as much muscle mass as possible. I suppose the major issue with peptides is that a lot of them have to be jabbed a couple of times a day.
The fact that they release a pulse of growth natural growth in your body has obviously got a lot of people's attention. Generally, it's poor. Most of it's from China. And when I say from China, a lot of things are from China that are very, very, very good. But when I say it's from China, I mean like fake watches, fake boots, fake whatever, handbags. It's substandard raws purchased by anybody who wants to start an online site for it to sell it.
I found that when I used GHRP, I held a lot of water on that. But then, you know, I did get the recovery, I did get the increase in appetite and, you know, all the other things that go with it. And I did think I progressed and I maybe improved a little bit.
Generally, this is how they would come. It's a vial that the powder amount inside on this one is 5 milligrams. It holds roughly about 2 to 3 ml of water. So it comes as a powder, as you can see at the bottom. So you would mix this with bacteriostic water and then use accordingly. So essentially that's a range of stuff you would use in prep. It's mainly for growth hormone release. And you would use it just as you would use growth hormone. You would stop it 2 to 3 weeks out, mainly because any release, any increase of growth hormone will make your body hold water.
Even with GHRP2, which is not supposed to give you an appetite stimulus, I still get a little bit of an appetite kick from that, which obviously when you're dieting, that's not the best thing to have. I've used things like IGF-1 in the past, which I thought were very good, but I think IGF-1's, a lot of people think it's like a miracle for muscle growth, but it's not really. It's the IGF-1 that's manufactured is not the same as your natural IGF-1, which contributes to muscle growth. It's different pathways.
Now, there will be people who go, yeah, but it's only water. A couple of grams of vitamin C, diuretic, will get rid of it. It won't. The water you hold from growth is not in the areas that a diuretic will just get rid of. All right? So some people can get away with it, but that's just their makeup, how they are, their genetic makeup. They're just dry generally all the time. But for the majority of people, me included, dropping peptides, dropping growth, 2-3 weeks out, will generally get you harder and drier into the show.
So today we're coming to the end of, obviously it's the end of Tom and Paul's prep, and generally we're going to be looking at doing a gym shoot. We don't want to really annihilate them like I normally do in photo shoots. I don't tend to do many stage shots, we tend to just do more hardcore edgy training shots.
So Paul's text, he's late because he fell down the stairs at home earlier. Now, the other day when I was ill and I said I'm feeling ill today, everyone jumped on me saying getting your excuses in early. So I'm not saying that's what's happened, but there might be a bit of I fell down the stairs and I can't train properly today. I've had it where I've been very low carbs and I've just walked into doors. But yeah, it can happen. You just and the other thing is that sometimes you walk in towards something, and as you're walking towards it, you're weighing up. Is if I walk into this thing, will it move, or is it better to expend extra energy to go around it? And you weigh it up as you're walking towards it, and sometimes you think, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna take a risk and just walk into it, hoping it will move, and then you can just continue on your way without expending extra energy walking around it. And anybody who's dieted will know what I'm talking about. So you walk through town, everything, children, you know, get out of the way. On your back.
Not good. In a lot of pain.
We'll get those benches out of the way. We're going to probably start with side lateral raises. And we go, these guys know what they're doing. We're shooting training. We're not shooting, I'm going to tell them, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. This is part of their final week of prep.
It's just one of the sport's good guys, really. I did a shoot with Fivos back in 2012. The legendary picture with me in the chains.
These photos of the Olympia, national level competitions. and he is a world-class photographer.
Now don't worry about doing that. We go through it, we do what we got to do.
I got a 6-pack bag there, put a laptop on it. It's a flat office one sort of thing. I was carrying that, I went for a fucking flyer.
It closed on the stairs.
Shocked me up, mate, more than what else.
Yeah.
But
His back's hurting and everything else, so we're gonna probably do a lot of pussy exercises today. But don't worry, I'll make it look as though it's taken its toll. I could imagine it sounded like EastEnders starting. Do.
There's actually quite an online debate at the moment who's taller. Now there's quite an optical illusion on both of them. Paul tends to try and stand in front and go up on his toes sometimes. I'm going to have another look at them today, so I think the jury's out on that one, but I think after today I'll be able to give the full SP on who's the taller.
Yeah, the post-show photo shoot definitely is, I think it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, you're in condition, you look good, you're already tanned up, so you don't have to spend money on extra tan. And if you do it a couple of days after the show, you're still going to look pretty cut, and even if you don't stuff your face, you still look quite big. So, yeah, I think it's really good to get photos when you're in condition.
Good, nice.
I think Tom's having a spray tan on the Saturday to look good for it. For me, I'm never going to compete again. I'm never going to get down to this body fat, you know, again. So it'd be good to have pictures from this photo shoot from this year. Obviously, we're doing it with Tom, so again, that's a good driver.
And we had a good laugh, you know, it's always a good laugh when people you haven't seen for a little while, you come back and you have a good crack and a bit of banter and piss taking, and it makes for a very good photo shoot, I thought. It was right at the beginning, it's the length of the shoot. It takes its time, and it's like doing a workout for 2 hours. You can't do a workout for 2 hours and still look good.
I mean, we've been shooting for, it's 1:10, so we've been shooting a good two plus hours now, which is good going just before a show. I wouldn't expect most people to last that long, to be honest. So
I think we're both just at that stage where we were on the phone the other night, where we were both on the phone the other night, and then we just stopped talking, both of us. Lost the will to actually speak, and we were both like that. Right, I'm really tired, let's go now. And that was it. I wasn't in the best of moods when I got here, to be honest, but got into the workout and it wasn't too bad, you know. But then, like Tom says, your blood sort of just leaves you. It's as if you've got none. You know, if it wasn't the fact that you need some for your heart to work, you wouldn't actually realise you had any.
It'd be nice to have an off-season strength and pump with a dieting physique. That'd be excellent. But you can't have that.
It's the final arm workout before the Brits, and Tom and Paul have journeyed to Crayford in Kent to train with one of UK bodybuilding's hottest young talents.
Amazing gym. If you've never been there, you need to go there. You've pretty much got every single type of machine you could probably want in a gym.
I like the suffering of prep. It must be that inner sickness we all have when we're just like, oh, it feels really good to feel like you're going to die. But you know, if you're seeing the results, if I'm seeing results every day and I wake up and I look back, I don't care how much I suffer.
Great. Another post about protes. That's all I see on my fucking Instagram. Fucking protes today and peak week next week. Fuck off.
Luke's a good guy. I've known him a couple of years now. He's sponsored by Gaspari. He's a big unit. I'll tell you what really fucking fucks me off.
Everything?
Paul's just one of these prolific coaches in the country, really. So he's just one of these guys. If you're a bodybuilder in the UK, you know Paul, and if you know Paul, you know Tom, and they're just the two hobbits that sort of knock about all the shows with their little jingly hats on.
People who are sponsored by a supplement company and their products are the be-all and end-all and the reason why they exist. And then within a week, they leave that company and go with another one, and all of a sudden, they're the best supplements in the world.
I mean, I've seen pictures of him before, and so I knew he was a big guy. But yeah, up close, it's a bit more impressive, you know. Even though on the Thursday I was so tired and depleted and whatever else, you know, he still managed to get a good workout out of me by shouting some abuse at me.
Yeah, when you're a week out, it's like you've got however many weeks behind you. Say you've done 60 weeks, you've got 15 weeks of hard work behind you, and your head is just like mashed potato. You have no idea what to think or feel. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I can't do this. I guarantee every single bodybuilder, whether they're Phil Heath or Joe Bloggs doing his first show, you will always have that doubt, but almost on the fence between doubt and confidence in that last week. You're like, yeah, I look good, or I look shit, it's one or the other.
Monday, here's a picture of my selfie. And then Tuesday, here's a picture of me this morning. Wednesday, you get the idea. Every single day, the same fucking photograph.
Oh yeah, just competed, holding on to my gains. You're a bikini athlete. You don't have gains, love.
I got this morning and I felt awful. I had my breakfast and then we got all our stuff ready to go and got in the car and I thought I was going to be sick at home, as in sick, and I wasn't, and I was driving down the motorway and I thought I was going to be just sick in my lap. I got some sort of bad cold or something. I think maybe that's a combination of maybe the dieting and the cardio and the training and, you know, being low, and then probably someone had a cold and was giving it to me. Normally I don't get colds, but I think being low on the diet is probably not helped.
Tom's always sick. Tom's the excuse master. To be fair,
my sick gains.
No, but he brought this excuse. You know, he put this excuse out there on social media, get out there, public, and he got it out there really early, which was very unlike Tom. Normally it's a morning of. He even got a little cough in there. You see that for camera? He's like, I feel a little sick.
You know, today is a case of teaching old dogs new tricks. We've had a chat with these mums today. They're both old as fuck men, and I'm a young man, so I've got to try not to hurt them. A lot of reps, a lot of squeezing. They're 8 days out, and I'm still just coming off the end of my off season now, so I feel good. They feel like shit, so I've got to be a bit gentle. Sit opposite, so big squeeze at the bottom. And then when we're working up to our heaviest work set, we'll do a drop and partials and all that shit.
All right. There's two poses that you can display your bicep tricep pop. First one being the side tricep. From a judge's perspective, you get to see the full side view of the physique. Obviously the triceps there, and so you want to see a horseshoe, striations, but also you see shoulder development, chest, intercostals, down to quads and hamstrings and even calf. The name of the pose is front double bicep, but the judge looks for everything, going from a V shape from the ends of the elbows down to the waist, and then the quad sweep out to the knees, and then calf development. You should see a full peaked arm bicep, along with a nice drop on the tricep there to show full arm development.
Right, the idea behind today's workout was to get as much blood volume into the muscle as possible, and sequencing the exercises in a certain order as to not cause any overemphasis on the short end or the lengthened part of the range too early in the session. Keeping these biceps nice and short and peaked, driving the blood in and emphasizing the hang and the longest head of the tricep as possible. Okay, first two exercises we did was a rope pull down, just push down. Basically, when you get this tricep nice and short, in this pose, you want to get this nice and short and full, that contraction. Explode up, squeeze, hold for 3. And one more like that. Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Slow down, slow. Up, contract, hard, come on. Again. Up. Good. With the bicep, we just kept that constant tension. Safe on the joint, safe on the tendon. You're keeping all of that tension just within the muscle group itself. Driving the blood in and just keeping it there. So finding the tension and keeping it there. Most important thing to do.
Get it. Good mate, come on, get it.
Down. Yeah. Come on, down. Yeah. Good.
My arms are pumped to fuck.
My nose is fall out of my face.
Nice.
That's it. Get nice and short. Contract. So you're getting nice and short. So when you're above your head and you try and peak your bicep, that is as short as you can get it. Nothing fancy with the tricep, just keeping that tension, because the aim for triceps is just to get that big hanging sweep. For the biceps, you're aiming to get that peak contraction. So when you're like this, above the head, you are getting your bicep as short as possible. When we moved over to the hammer strength pull, so if you put your arm out like that, keeping this all lengthened, shortened. In, come on. Come on. See, that's fully lengthened bicep, contracting it short as possible. Then we moved on to behind the head. And again, when you've got your hands behind your head, you're lengthening your tricep. So if you can lengthen it as much as possible, the muscle is pumped, it's ready, it's safe to be stretched out.
Next time on the final episode of Prep.
I'm not excited about the Britain because it's the Britain. I'm excited about the Britain because it's the last show.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage now the competitors for this year's Mr. Class 4